Some people are finding it difficult to be positive about the future in the current economic climate, and yet there are numerous opportunities if we can just but see them. The animals of the Serengeti have survived an ever-changing landscape for thousands of years, often in the face of adversity, which is why we use them as the analogy for our performance program. We can learn much from these animals, which we love to go and see in the wild. Before we even get to your organisation, we look at the individual and learn from how the matriarch leads, influences and develops each of her herd. The elephant is a very self-aware and intelligent animal with the memory to retain the corporate knowledge. As we enter the organisation, we learn from the giraffe the value of having a leader who has an overview of the landscape. Other animals graze in the vicinity of the giraffe, which can see a predator moving the grass long before some of its fellow Serengeti inhabitants. The giraffe can also see where greener pastures are starting to appear, and, as it moves towards its favoured food on the acacia tree, others follow. Most organisations have a number of departments or divisions, and it sometimes feels as though they are pulling in different directions. This is no different to the small wildebeest herds, but when it is time for the migration, they come together and resource themselves properly for their annual journey around the Serengeti to maximise their performance, which in turn is no different to what organisations need to do now. Prides of lions provide valuable lessons in how they use the competencies of their members, whether it is the dominant male focused on remaining head of the pride, or the female hunters who change roles according to their skills when hunting different species. We should look towards using the competencies and skills of our staff to the same good effect. The zebra collects and collates information quickly and accurately. It has to. Its own survival and the survival of its fellow herd members depend on it. It knows that it is safer when part of a herd and vulnerable if out on its own. The long-lasting challenge for the zebra is to be proactive rather than reactive to threats. Now there's a thought. As the landscape changes, the animals recognise the need to change their behaviours to survive. The rhinoceros has all the prerequisites for a human involved in change. They are thick-skinned, focused and resilient. Strangely for their size, they can move at speed and change direction quickly. The rhinoceros keeps going and does not easily get digressed from its target. The future is much brighter when all the animals work together. They survive droughts and floods, and so can we, by taking the lessons from these animals and using them to navigate across your very own performance landscape.